This video will provide an overview for the instructor dashboard on VTR Learning's website. Once you've logged in and navigated to your instructor dashboard, you'll see a listing of every course that you're set as an instructor for. For the purpose of this video, we'll be using the accounting course. First things first, you'll notice that on this tile there's a start date and an end date for the course, as well as the number of students who are currently active in the course. Underneath that, you'll see three icons, the first of which is a blue envelope. If you click on this, you can actually email every student in the course at one time. You simply put in a subject, put in the body of the email, and click send. Next to that, there's a green chart. By clicking this, you will see the quiz report for that course. The quiz report is a list of every question in the course, as well as the correct answer, which is listed over here on the right-hand side, the question source, so whether it comes from a document, a video, or some other location in the course, as well as the point value. You can also separate these by module, so module 5, 4, 3, so on. Finally, you can also export the report to a CSV or Microsoft Excel file so that it can be viewed offline. Next to the quiz report button, you'll see the Export Module Scores button. This is similar to exporting the quiz report to an offline file, except instead of a quiz report, it tells you the scores for every student in the course. Now, if you click on the course tile, you'll notice the drop-down, and it tells you individual information for every student. It tells their name, their score, the percent of the course that they've completed so far, the number of times that they have failed a module, the current location in the course, their date of last activity, and if that student has been contacted by email, the last date of contact. Now, under the student's name, you'll notice that there are several icons, the first of which is a blue paper airplane. This is an email student individually button. So, like the email the entire class button, this sends an email only to that student. Next to that, you will see the View Student Statistics button. That's a green % sign. If we click on that, it will open the individual statistics page. Here, you can see information for every individual module on how that student is doing. So, you'll see it broken down by module and section, and if there's a green check mark, it means that they've successfully completed that section or scene. Next, you have their score overall, as well as for each individual assessment. You also have the % of total score, the time that they've spent taking that section, scene, or module, and the date that they finished that section, scene, or module. You also can view their module answers as a whole or by individual assessment. If we click that button, we can see their module answers. Here, you'll see a list of every question, the correct answer, and the student's answer. On questions that were answered incorrectly, you also have the ability to mark them as correct if you think that the student deserves credit. Finally, you also have open-ended or file upload questions where the student will have uploaded a file or given their own answer. You'll have to provide a score for that out of 3, and you can also provide feedback that will be sent to the student for that individual question. Finally, you'll see the Reset Module button. If a student gets to the end of a module and they've failed it, or you for some reason decide that they should take that module over again, you can reset it, and they will have to start from the beginning only on that specific module. Next, you'll see a red X button. This is a drop student button. If a student decides that they no longer want to take the course and they drop out, you can drop them from the course by clicking on that button, and it will send a request for that student to be removed. Next to that, you'll see an Edit Individual Settings button. If you click on this button, it will open another page, and from here you can edit the start and end date for that student specifically. So, if there's a need to give a student an extension, you can simply update the end date, and it will do that for them. Finally, there is the Block Progress button. If you don't want a student to start over a module, but you also don't want them to move on until you've had the chance to talk to them about their progress or some other aspect of their course, you can simply block them from moving on by clicking on this button. This concludes the basics for the instructor dashboard.